Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. In this episode we are continuing to work on the Fiat 500. So I got pretty much everything sprayed and primer, and today we're gonna work on the interior. But before I take the plastic off, I need to spray some of this flat black paint. This is for guide coating. Once I'll be ready to sand the outside, this will be sprayed. And I usually like to spray this stuff before I take the plastic off so it doesn't get inside. So I'm gonna spray this, take all the plastic off, and then get into the interior and start getting the interior ready for paint. Alright, so I got most of it covered in the black paint, and all of this paint's getting sanded off once I'm ready to get it for final stage. But it's really important to spray it before you take this paper off, because or plastic, so it just doesn't get everywhere on the inside, because then it just makes more work. So now we're just gonna get these windows off. Oops. Works better with paper, but also if any of you guys ever paint, I usually don't use plastic unless it's primer, because stuff like this, if you take it and go like this, it just flakes off. So on primer it works great, because the plastic itself, because the primer is wet, and by the time it dries you're already done spraying. But if you spray base coat and you use plastic, you are risking to screw up your whole paint job, because when you put air right next to this, all this stuff will flake off. It works the same with base coats. If you spray base coat around here, and then when you're about to spray clear, this stuff will come off plastic. So for example, if I take my air hose right here and say I sprayed my base coat and I'm ready to spray clear coat, and this, let's pretend it's base coat, and it's dry. So if I go like this, and as you can see, all this stuff comes off, and it's gonna go right into your base coat. So just a little advice. Primers is a whole different story, because primer is wet, so it takes much longer for it to dry, and by the time you're done spraying it, it's already dried. But like I said, gotta be careful. Anyway, let's get back to it. Alright, so I got most of it cleared out. Alright, so the plan is to sand all this stuff. I'm gonna take a D8 and sand it. I can feel there's a little dent right here, so I'm gonna get on the other side, press it out. Yeah, it's just a lot of just sanding, and if I run into dents, then gotta fix it. Interiors suck, because they suck. You gotta get in here and then try to sand it all, and it just sucks. I'm not doing anything with the floor. I'm only painting basically where the red is. So right here, all this, wherever it's visible underneath here, there's a panel. Behind the seat, there's really nothing. They didn't paint it before, so gotta get all this ready. There's a piece that goes on here, and I'm gonna try to clean this out, but we'll see how it goes. The piece is on glue, and it doesn't really need to be painted. But all this stuff everywhere, just basically the whole interior, wherever there's red, we gotta change it to gray. So let's get to it. Grab a sander, sandpaper, and have fun with this. All right, guys, so I got a lot of it sanded down, and a lot of it's gonna have to be primed. I got the dent out, put a little bit, tiny bit of Bondo, and then I took the steering wheel off. I'm gonna leave this hanging. I'm just gonna tape all this off, and then I'm gonna tape off all these holes, and then prime this thing. There's a lot of stuff like this where I had a little dent right here, a little Bondo there. But there's a lot of pinhole needles, whatever size. So for example, like this stuff right here, this is probably gonna show up in my paint. And so I'm gonna just prime most of the interior and just a light coat, and then sand it down. That way if there's anything, it's gonna take care of all the little imperfections. So I'm gonna tape off all that stuff and then mix some primer and just start priming. Alright, so I got my primer mixed, and let's spray it all down. Alright, so got pretty much everything sprayed. Everywhere where the paint's gonna be. So I'm gonna add some of this before it dries. So it's gonna take a few hours for it to dry. I'm gonna go take a lunch break. And then once I get back, it should be all dried, and I can start sanding this thing once again.